Weather models have changed in the past 24 hours, putting the ferocious tempest on a direct collision course with the UK. A third low-pressure system spotted today lurking off the coast of Canada threatens to join the party, creating a trio of misery. Swathes of the country are on alert for severe gales, travel chaos and power outages into the start of next week. It could be the most significant storm to hit the UK since Doris ripped through the country in February. Latest models show Hurricane Maria now returned to a Category 1 after momentarily weakening to a tropical storm, making a northeastward U-turn tomorrow before heading towards the North Atlantic. Chart's storm latest path. Hurricane Maria and Lee are strengthening in the Atlantic. Chart 6 storm latest maximum wind speeds as the storm hits UK. Maria will collide with Lee, currently a Category 3 hurricane, between now and Friday, creating a huge and rapidly deepening storm system. Forecasters say a third low-pressure system discovered near Newfoundland could hitch a ride with Maria and Lee, adding further vigor to the mix. While there is still uncertainty around timings and severity, forecasters say torrential rain and gales are likely to set in on Sunday night. The storm will then sweep northwards away from the UK, leaving a clear and settled picture for the rest of the week. Northwest Scotland and the west coast of England are braced for the biggest hit according to latest weather models. Magic Seawood Hurricane Maria and Hurricane Lee will smash Britain with a third area of low pressure. Ventuscux Hurricane Lee and Hurricane Maria will hit Britain Sunday night into Monday. Jim Dale, forecaster for British Weather Services, said gusts of between 60 and 70 miles per hour are likely to batter the worst-hit regions. He said, "We are certainly looking at a wet and windy weekend. It all still depends on how Maria and Lee converge and the path they take. At the moment it is a very messy picture, but the most likely situation is that we see northwest Scotland and western Britain on the receiving end of some very wet and windy weather. We are almost certainly looking at severe gales with perhaps storm force gusts from Sunday into Monday. Elsewhere most places will be gusty and are in for some typical unsettled autumnal conditions. UK weather updates. A third weather system has developed off the coast of Newfoundland. Ensemble models show the two hurricanes smashing together then hitting Britain. The Met Office said weather models are still struggling to agree on how any of these systems will affect the UK's weather. Spokesman Graham Madge, however, warned to expect some very wet and windy conditions from Sunday. He said it is still uncertain whether the union of Lee and Maria will take place and what happens after that. There is now another more typical low-pressure system off the coast of Newfoundland, which will bring a situation where we could have three systems interacting. What we are largely sure about is that we are going to see our weather systems modified by whatever ends up coming across the Atlantic, and this will bring a spell of very wet and windy weather. Ventusky Hurricane Maria currently has a huge wind field. We expect most of the effects to be felt on Sunday and into Monday, after which an area of high pressure will bring more settled conditions to the UK. Experts have over the past few days been scratching their heads over different weather models which all show vastly different paths and intensities of the Atlantic hurricanes. While many show Maria linking up with Lee and arriving to the northwest of the UK on Sunday, others show both storms vanishing before the weekend. Weather company forecaster Dave Reynolds said our models are showing a change from yesterday, with Maria now dissipating completely over the Atlantic. The main effect would be that we get an incursion of warm and humid air across southern Britain, which will push temperatures up at the weekend. It is, however, still possible that things will change as it is still very early on. September 27, 2017 Wednesday 27 Hurricane Lee and Hurricane Maria set to merge. Andy Page, the Met Office's chief operational meteorologist, added the remnants of tropical systems are likely to impact our weather towards the end of the weekend and into the beginning of next week. However, it is important to say that any weather impacts will be very different from those experienced in the Caribbean. The track of these systems and how they may interact with another area of low pressure in the Atlantic is uncertain. There may end up being one large area of low pressure or several separate systems. So at this time, while we can say that many places will see a period of wet and windy weather later this weekend and into next week, we can't say which areas of the UK will see the wettest or windiest weather. The best advice is to keep up to date with the latest forecast and warnings.